Hello class, my name is Daniel Alford. This is my video pitch, or my pitch video for Management 341, Intro into Entrepreneurship. Today I'll be talking to you about my video, my proposed business idea, my intended target market, and what is needed, why this product is needed, and what service it fulfills. So it's a very technical product. It's going to be a very a niche product. So my product is literally just a fuel tank bracket. So what this actually service fulfills here, kind of skipping over here, it actually takes the fuel tank from they call it the saddlebag style that's under the cab and the bed of the truck that stretches a length of frame on both sides of the trucks depending on the truck year. Some of these trucks had 2 tanks, some of these trucks had 1 tank. But what that does is take a fuel cell, like a racing fuel cell that they use in racing applications, but they're just safer for performance needs. It takes that fuel cell and relocates it behind the axle, flush with the bed of the truck. So it's hanging underneath the bed, but it's flush. So the top of the fuel tank is flush with the bed, and it allows you to have easy access to the fuel pumps, easy access to the fill neck, easy access to make sure your straps are clean, the tank is clean. Just very easy access to the entire system, instead of cramming the fuel pump and all that underneath the cab, and you can't reach it, you can't see it, you got to pull the bed off the truck to maintain it. So what the services fulfills is pretty much an easier maintenance and easier way to get to the fuel tank if you have potential issues. So these brackets are specifically designed for a bolt-on application behind the bed for a 1973 to a 1987 Chevy GM Scottsdale trucks. So it's Chevy, GM, and Scottsdale trucks. This is an easy-to-use fuel system that, like I said, relocates the fuel tank behind the rear axle and flush with the bed. You will access the fuel tank now through the bed instead of pulling the bed. So it'll be like cut out in the bed. This allows you to still maintain the full bed. You just got to be mindful that there's a fuel tank back there, but most people with these trucks and are already spending this kind of money to restore these things or make them race trucks or etc. You're not using these trucks for heavy work anymore. You're using the bed to haul groceries, maybe some plywood. You're not throwing chunks of wood back there. You're not hauling very heavy stuff anymore with these trucks. There's much modern and more safer vehicles to do the heavier stuff and more heavy duty stuff with. These trucks are pretty much collector's items now. Some people do use them for work, but they're not going to be using this fuel system design because they know that it's not a viable option for them. So again, like I was saying, this is for resto mods, performance upgrades, people who are doing Chevy LS engine swaps, big block swaps, small block swaps, anybody who's looking to have a performance fuel system in their vehicle. And it's a very target audience, niche audience, but like I said, it will be compatible with LS engines, Chevy small blocks, big blocks, just that range of engine variations. You have a mechanical fuel pump or electric fuel pump inside the tank. It's a fuel cell. I mean, it's going to be compatible with whatever you buy it for. So the sizes available for this fuel tank bracket it'll be anywhere from 15 gallons to 25 gallons. The bracket will range in size. The bracket is a simple metal design, and it's designed to use safety-rated fuel straps for the drag strip and other racing applications. So instead of having a hard-mounted fuel system, it'll be in there with the safety straps that are required by the NHRA. Most racing circuits, if you're planning to track the truck, drag race the truck, whatever you're doing with the truck, or just driving around, it's still held in with the traditional fuel straps, and you'll pass safety inspections with no issues. The intended target market, again, we're looking for the automotive enthusiast. We're looking for people who are restoring their vehicles, and they just want an easier way to maintain their trucks. It's a niche field. Somebody like me who owns 2 of these trucks and my dad who owns 5 of them, every time we do a fuel tank swap in these things, we talk about putting a fuel tank behind the axle like they did in the Jimmys, and There's a market for it. There's a lot of people already doing it, but they're actually putting the fuel cell in the bed, and you lose a section of the bed. So my solution allows you to keep your full functionality of the bed for other things, grocery shopping, I don't know. But, you can still use your truck for light truck duty things. I mean, it's essentially what the fuel tank is designed for anyways. So, with this product, we'll be creating a new company called Al Ford's Fuel Tank Brackets LLC. We're choosing an LLC because the relative startup of this company will be pretty small, and it will probably just be myself running the company. So, limited liability company makes the most sense. It protects my assets, my personal assets, and if something were to go wrong with these fuel tanks, they could only sue the company and not me personally. Startup costs for this company are actually fairly cheap. We need simple things such as a welder, welding wire, raw stock, paint, and that's essentially it. An individual can make or produce one of these fuel tank brackets after they've got the methodology and the actual product design hammered out and make sure it fits correctly. The typical production schedule and design of this product, it would probably be an hour a piece tops. This doesn't include painting. Painting will be like an option. Customer can paint it themselves, or we can paint it for them, or send it to get powder coated. It's just an avenue you can actually make more money or revenue with the customer as an add-on option. It just adds more time to the production and production cost. Like I said, product production will be fairly simple, fairly cheap. Most likely, it'll just be myself producing the product. It'll be a very small company, just producing fuel tank brackets as demand meets. So as soon as the customer sends an order in, we'll make sure we have the material and the product, to make the product and the material at the same time. So it'll pretty much be like a very lean system until the demand gets to the point where I can't afford to do it myself anymore, just because there's not enough, people to do the product. And then I'll start hiring on individual employees, and the company will slowly grow. But product sales. So when we were looking at the market and projected market for this vehicle fuel tank system, we can kind of look to see how many people are driving these trucks, how many trucks were put on the market, and how many people are actually, asking for this product. So one of the major key elements of looking is actually Facebook. Facebook has, automotive groups all over the place, and there's just one Facebook group that really draws a lot of attention. Is pretty much Chevy Square Bodies, 1973 to 1987. It has 73,000 members. There's a lot of people doing all kinds of weird stuff with these trucks, anything from lifting them, drag racing, mud running, tractor pull, stuff like that. Having an easy bolt-in fuel tank system is definitely something that everybody's been looking for. It's just there's actually no product that exists. So that's where sales or the product niche comes into play here. Is we're actually going to be fulfilling a pretty large section of the market for this. Also, to think, there was millions of these trucks sold throughout the 70s and the 80s. So, there's a potential that, even if people aren't in the group, if we could sell some of our products to like Summit Racing, Jegs, stuff like that, people who don't use Facebook, we can still get our product, marketing it out there. Product sales, I don't foresee selling a ton of them when they first come out, probably 40 to 50 a month tops. That's like giving it very, very gracious. And as the product becomes more popular, start ramping up production, adding more employees if needed. But like I said, if Summit Racing wants an order of 100 of them, we'll make 100 of them, ship them out. Other than that, direct sales to customers, we'll just make as demanded. We won't have it on the shelf. So that way, the customer can customize the product they wanted to paint it or anything else. So in conclusion, it's a fuel tank bracket design that allows you to relocate the fuel tank into the back of the truck behind the axles. The company will be an LLC for limited liability. Sales will be projected toward more Facebook and direct marketing, companies like Jegs and Summit Racing. Production will be primarily small base, starting out with just me by myself, And as production grows, we grow the company, adding accounting and more production employees and design engineers and stuff. But it's a relatively small startup, inexpensive startup cost, and will actually essentially need no loan to start. So other than that, thank you for listening to my product demonstration video.